At the Grand Ridge Complex, about a 90-minute drive from Chicago, the open fields are sprouting more than corn and soybeans. They're producing megawatts of energy. Chicago-based Invenergy began building wind turbines here in 2007, and after 4 phases of construction, these massive blades now churn out enough wattage on average to power 36,000 homes. Routine maintenance has shown that one of the turbines, number 106, might have some trouble. On this unseasonably cool summer morning, wind technician Grant Lingfelder will go up to have a look.
Yeah, you climb at least one tower every day most of the time, unless there's storms.
After 7 years on the job, Grant has gotten used to the long climb up a ladder inside the tower.
About 265 feet, 80-meter tower. Not sure how many steps. I counted them before. I forgot now. It's one of those things you do when you first start.
Growing up nearby, Grant saw the first towers rise above the cornfields and thought it would be fun to work at them.
And then I went to school in Indianapolis, and then when I moved back after college, all the towers were up, and I was like, well, that'd be pretty neat.
And the towers haven't just changed the landscape, they've also changed the job market in the small towns surrounding Grand Ridge, giving new opportunities to young people like Grant.
I actually started pretty young. I was 19 when I started here, so I was the young guy. I'm still sort of the young guy that's been here a while. Yeah. Catching the wind, harnessing the power. You're not using coal or burning any fossil fuels, so I think it's pretty neat.
Wind technician has been named one of the most in-demand jobs in Illinois, according to a recent analysis by Crane's Chicago Business. Now, wind jobs account for about a third of the jobs in electricity generation in the state, and solar power jobs outnumber those in the more traditional areas of natural gas and coal. And that is due in large part to new technologies, a smarter electrical grid, and a legislative nudge by the Illinois State Assembly.
Illinois, through the combination of having this new infrastructure as well as now a commitment to more clean energy, is really one of the leaders in this country.
As renewable energy sources developed over the years, utility companies were skeptical that solar and wind energy could be integrated into the power grid. After all, it's not always windy, and every day turns to dark night.
The theory, even 3 years ago, was that the entire grid would collapse if 5% of the electricity was coming from these intermittent resources like solar and wind. The whole thing, that was the common, assumption.
That assumption was incorrect. In fact, Texas set a new peak record one day in March of this year, when 50% of its electricity came from wind power. And thanks to smart grid technology, the system could handle that peak load.
It's like a mesh system. We can move the power all around and integrate a whole variety of different resources, and as a result, make the system more resilient.
Ameren and ComEd, the two major utility companies in Illinois, have invested billions of dollars in the last 5 years to make a smarter and cleaner electrical grid.
Go ahead, Tom, I'm ready.
All right.
It's changing and improving some of the traditional jobs in the electricity business.
10-4, Tom, I understand. This on the clearance order 747.
Carlos Cosino has worked for ComEd in Chicago for 26 years. He's now an overhead electrical specialist, or OES. On any given day, he hits the streets of Chicago to support other ComEd teams or to fix power outages.
Underground is working on this cable. They need to work on it, and we're here to ground it, make it safe for them.
Just like linemen have done since the earliest days of the electrical grid.
The lineman work is still the same. The difference is now we have more technology. This is our maps.
He's seen a lot of changes over the years. Old paperwork and maps have been replaced by a laptop computer and a GPS in his bucket truck. Both ComEd and Ameren have installed new smart switches. The switches immediately react to a power outage and shut off or turn back on to isolate the problem and keep power flowing to as many customers as possible. They do it automatically, in seconds.
A smart grid is a more automated grid. Is a grid that's able to make decisions, probably more decisions on its own, with less human intervention.
Sensors also send alerts about outages, so no one has to call the company anymore to tell them the lights are out. And the data helps the crew find the source of the problem more quickly.
An outage used to be with a 6-block radius, and now with the automation, within 30 seconds, they minimize it to 1 or 2-block radius.
This equipment is very smart. It can tell what the issue is. They communicate with each other. It makes our system so much more reliable.
You can think of a smart meter just like ComEd's traditional meters, except much smarter.
The smart grid also includes the equipment in customers' homes. New tech like smart meters are being installed to send data back and forth from the customer to the power company.
This helps eliminate the need for meter readers to visit your home or business. And the
You
result
should admit that there are some jobs that are going to go away. The meter readers that walk around your neighborhood, that job's gone. But the linemen, their job becomes more sophisticated because they're out there trying to solve problems rather than simply, climbing ladders and fixing outages that somebody has called in and said our line's down.
Stop.
Speaking of solving problems, back at Grand Ridge, Grant, the wind technician, has opened the turbine's inner workings to have a look inside.
Now look at the screen. We found metal during the maintenance on our filters, so the protocol is to go up tower and inspect the gearbox, make sure nothing's wrong with it.
With the blades fully stopped, Grant uses a camera called a gearbox borescope. He snaps several pictures. The images show some wear and tear.
They inspected it, found a little damage, so then we'll turn it into our engineers and they'll make the call what to do with it next.
Invenergy engineers will keep the turbine offline temporarily for repairs.
That I welcome our Governor of Illinois, Bruce Rauner.
Thank you, thank you.
Even as the federal government considers rolling back national efforts in clean energy, the industry and individual states continue to invest in its potential.
I won't gamble on thousands of good-paying jobs.
In December 2016, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner signed the Future Energy Jobs Bill. It includes billions in private investment in clean energy.
I'm proud to sign this bill, and that's what I'm going to do right here, right now.
And that will likely mean more jobs, more technicians like Grant, more skilled specialists like Carlos, a smarter grid, and a better deal for those of us who use the electricity at our homes and jobs.